Hi, everybody. My name is Philip. I am here at Cal State East Bay. I'm the academic programs coordinator here, and I'm also a graduate student. I'm in the MBA program, and I will be completing in spring 2019. Today, we are hosting a panel on the topic of Is Graduate School Right for You? It's your opportunity to ask any questions that you might have about attending graduate school. But quickly before we start, let me go ahead and let my co-panelists introduce themselves.
Hi everyone, my name is Marlene Guerrero, and I just recently graduated this past June 2018 from the English Department TESOL program, so Teaching English to Speakers of Other Languages. I am really excited to be talking today about a few of my experiences here in the two-year program.
My name is Khalil Corbin. I graduated from Cal State East Bay in the spring of 2016, and from Inglewood, California, and today I'm here to talk to you about my graduate experiences at the University of San Francisco.
Great. So if you have any questions, feel free to comment below, and we'll go ahead and answer as many as we can. We'll be here till about 5 p.m. tonight to answer your questions. And just a quick overview of the graduate school opportunities here at Cal State East Bay. We are a public institution, so we offer a wide variety of different programs from different departments and colleges, all along the spectrum from liberal arts all the way to professional degrees. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started here with our first question. Did you want to elaborate a little bit more about your graduate program and your experience in it?
Yeah, so definitely. So teaching English to speakers of other languages, getting the English degree in the TESOL program, I will be able to teach at a community college and help English language learners improve on their skills.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And for myself, with the Master's in Public Administration, my focus is public policy and leadership. So with that, there's different positions that one could go for. So director level and management positions as well. So it's pretty versatile.
Awesome. Why did you attend graduate school?
So after graduating Cal State East Bay with an undergraduate degree in psychology, I actually decided that I did not want to pursue psychology. So I graduated CSUEB in 2015. There was a year where I felt like unproductive, and I felt like I wasn't really reaching my goals and aspirations. And so part of my main goal is to become a professor at a university. And I really wanted to go back to school, graduate school, and pursue an English degree. And like I mentioned, I'll be teaching English to speakers of other languages in a community college. And so that's one of the main reasons why I decided to go back to graduate school.
How about you, Khalil?
And I went to grad school for a few reasons. One is that it was actually a goal of my mother for me to go to grad school. And that's why I did it, really. But after that, I chose this specific program that I'm in because one of the professors is the legal advisor to Dr. Martin Luther King, or was the legal advisor. And to me, that was just like, why wouldn't I want to learn from this guy? So that was the reason I chose this program. And then aside from that, I was always interested in being a counselor, but not making counseling like a long-term career. I wanted something to where I could be versatile and maybe move up and be able to go into different industries. So the MPA program for me was just the way to go after I graduated, and I didn't have anything else to do. So I was like,
That's I just realized I should actually speak for myself as well. I said I'm in the Master's in Business Administration, and why did I choose that particular program? Probably for many of the same reasons that Khalil mentioned. It's a very broad program in that it encompasses different facets of the business industry. So you learn a little bit of accounting, a little bit of finance, a little bit of data analysis. And so you can really, it's kind of like this Swiss knife of programs, and it can be really versatile, like you
Yeah.
said, just like public policy can be, to whatever profession I choose to pursue. The next question we have here is, did graduate school help you with your career?
I'd say yes, because it opened doors to practical experiences in teaching. I've been able to work at our school campus hosting and leading writing workshops, which is something that I'm really passionate about. I got exposure to working with colleagues and professors that are also passionate about teaching. And I just want to give a shout out to my TESOL ladies. I hope that you're watching this. I learned so much from you and your learning experiences and teaching experiences.
Definitely, yeah. Grad school has helped me grow definitely in my career. Maybe not directly as a counselor right now, but I see the way from just running my own brands and podcasts and things like that of how my program has helped in terms of just using assets, leveraging those assets, marketing, and I want to say grant writing as well. So being able to pull in resources that aren't mine and having to always use my own money. So it's definitely helped me, and I think from here on out, once I graduate, it'll be a lifelong thing that'll stick with me.
Yeah, definitely grant writing is
Yeah.
a good skill to have. For me, I'd echo what my co-panelists have said in that my program has really, I didn't even know what I didn't know. And even with things that I don't necessarily gravitate towards, like say, I'm not particularly fond of, say, doing accounting, but it's a skill set that I have, and I can understand how financial statements articulate with one another, and I can speak that language when an accountant comes to me. Same thing with finance. Versus something like that I am passionate about, like data analytics. I'm really into getting into the numbers and visualizing it and seeing what the story and narrative that data tells us, what information we can actually glean from it, right? And so in this day and age of big data, it's kind of, wow, it's really opened up my eyes to all the possibilities out there, right? So yeah, I'd just like to reiterate that there's so many things that I didn't even know existed as part of that program that has really opened my eyes to new avenues and new opportunities. The next question we have here is, did you work while attending school at the same time? How did you juggle work-life balance?
Did you want to go first?
Yeah, did you want to go
Okay,
first?
yeah. So yes, I do work and attend school at the same time. How do I juggle work-life balance? I leave work at work and
Oh,
Same.
yeah.
leave work at work, but the second I get home, there's more work to do.
Mhm.
So I don't know if I really balance it well. It's more like work, and then life at the end of that. Yeah, I would say just leaving work at work, just handling the school stuff, and then all the social things will still be there. You know, there'll still be a little bit of time for that. And at the end of the day, you just lose a little bit of sleep,
Yeah.
and you'll be okay. Like, that's really how I deal with it.
I get a lot of Starbucks gift cards.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure.
For me, of course, I work. Coming from a working class, I have never had the privilege to take time off from work. I definitely applied for scholarships, and I was privileged enough to get one from the English department. The graduate program is also designed for working professionals, so all of my classes were in the evenings, twice a week, from 6:30 to 10 p.m. And I would say that my best friend was definitely a planner. I had this ritual where the beginning of the quarter, I would look at all the syllabus and look at the due dates of readings and due dates of big assignments, and I would write it down on my student planner. So I would say that. Another thing is prioritizing. Working full-time and being a full-time student, I had to learn how to prioritize things. And also, echoing what Khalil said, taking time to do things that really like matter to you, like hanging out with friends, traveling during school breaks, and for me, how I take care of myself is just drinking a nice cup of tea. Simple as that. Just to have like some balance with like work life and school life.
Yeah, I think that was important, was doing those simple things that matter to you most.
Yep.
Like, I do that every day. You should do something that matters to you most.
Yep, that's right. I mean, my sentiments are exactly the same. In that the work-life complement for me, it really is a lifestyle change, right?
Yeah.
You really have to manage your time well and prioritize what is actually important and of value and what is a distraction, and you know, make time for what is valuable. Like even if it's like something to disconnect you, like going for a walk in the morning, or
Working out.
you know, yeah. There's I definitely agree. Working out, it has helped kind of decompress any kind of stress or anxiety that might get built up over this time. Another thing I wanted to mention is your support circle, like your coworkers or family or friends that are supportive of you completing the program, keeping you focused, your eye on the ball, because you know they're the ones that will understand when you say, you know, I really can't go to this thing tonight because I've got a paper to do.
Yeah.
Or I've got to study for this test. I can't. I'm sorry. And if they're supportive, they'll say, we understand. You know, school is important.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Have you guys found that people don't support that though? When you say I have that paper to write, and they still
Yeah.
I mean, it's what has happened to me though is I made a lot of friends in my program too, like lifelong friends. Like,
Yeah.
wow, you because they understand and empathize with your daily struggles, right, of balancing work and school. And so you also get introduced to a whole new group of people that you eventually become lifelong friends with because you went through this kind of like struggle together, right, to get your degree. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
for sure.
Yep. So let's see what we have here. So, what advice do you have for Pioneer alumni interested in graduate school? I'll take this one, Khalil.
I would say to start to leverage your position as a student, as an undergrad student, and use that time to meet with faculty of the graduate programs here on campus and at other universities. You have to market yourself in a way like, you know, I'm a graduating senior or a junior, and I just want to inquire about this program. And you know, if you have some time to meet, I'd love to come sit in the classroom or meet you during your office hours just to talk. And that alone right there will get you pretty far within to meeting people in the program and also figuring out what it is specifically that you want to do for grad school, because it is a huge time investment and you don't want to get in a program that you're dreading. You want to absolutely love what you're learning, because it's gonna be a lot of reading and writing and numbers. So you want to find out as much information as you can. And as an undergrad student, you have every right to do so, and you need to leverage that when speaking to faculty members.
Yeah, I would say the same. Definitely, like, take the time to contact professors and who teach those graduate courses, and just step inside the classroom and observe how students are interacting with the professor, and just being there to see what it looks like and feels like to be, you know, potentially a graduate student. And for my experience, I would say, like, don't think about it too much, whether or not you should be going to graduate school. If you have the urge to go back to school, like, just do it. Like, but of course, have a plan. And part of the plan is like going to, like, observe different graduate classrooms.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I completely agree with both my panelists here in that, just take initiative in doing the research, right? Reach out to the faculty there, because just even doing so puts you on their radar when they're reviewing their application pool, right? So they have like a dozen applications. As, oh, so-and-so took initiative to come reach out to me. That also gives you leverage there because you've already developed a relationship or a rapport with that person. Piggybacking off of what was said about kind of like sitting in the classroom, it's like surrogacy, right? Like when you go to a restaurant, or when you look for a restaurant, what's the first thing you do? You look at Yelp and you see like, hey, what are the reviews of this place? And essentially that's what you're doing. You're seeing like what are alumni's experience in that program, as well as, oh, what's the culture like? Can I see myself here, right? That's essentially how you're wayfinding to see if this program is right for you. Khalil mentioned it's very different from the undergrad years in that with your undergraduate, your bachelor's degree, you kind of have this period of exploration where you do your general education, right? They put you in philosophy or English or what have you to kind of test out the waters to see what major or program you want to hone in on. But with graduate school, day one, you get in there. Like for myself, just speaking for myself, I took accountancy as my first class, and I had to quickly learn what these things meant. I was just like, oh, amortization, I don't know. You know, so you just, you hit the ground running, I guess, is the point I want to make with that. So it's important to know that this is what you want to do. And sometimes the best way to find out what you want to do is to know what you don't want to do. Like you might do a little research and say like, hey, maybe MBA isn't for me. It's a little too mathy. Like, oh, I'm really more passionate about research and writing. So, you know, you might look at English or the MPA program, right? So really that's the best advice I can give is just do your homework because you're going to be doing a lot of it in the program anyways.
Get used to it.
Right. So, let's see. Do we have any questions? I think we're caught up with questions. We have a question here. How long did it take you to fill out a grad school application, and what was the process? The current process for the CSU system, I believe, is Cal State Apply. So it's the same across the entire the entire CSU system. So it uses this platform called Cal State Apply, and it has a general application that you fill out with all of the usual information that you're used to, like your student information, personal statements, and really what distinguishes it from other programs is in the last portion of it, like say our MPA program might ask for a personal statement and letters of recommendation versus MBA, which could ask more for like say GMAT testing, right? Or an interview and copies of your resume and CV and so forth. Do you guys have...
I would say that for the English department, it was a writing sample, and it was a personal statement. And with all of the research that I did, I probably spent maybe like half a year, like from summer to fall. Like that was the time that I remember, like spending on like researching, and then application. It took me like 3 months.
Yeah. I would say for myself, it took somewhere around 3 to 4 months to finally get my application prepared. The statement, the purpose statement took a while to really tell my story and to answer the question that they wanted within the exact words amount that they wanted to fit that word count. So that took some work, and then the research behind it to figure out that the research behind figuring out the program you want is a part of the application too.
Right.
Yep. That took like a year. So it takes a while.
Yeah, you have to be intentional about it.
Yeah.
I think. I didn't mention the timeline for mine, but I actually even took an extra quarter before I went to the program to handle all the prerequisite courses that I needed refreshing in, right? Like I had to retake like college algebra and basic statistics just because I hadn't done those classes in a while and they were required for the program. Yeah. Let's see what we have here. Do we have any more questions?
I think we have another one.
Oh, we do.
Mm-hmm.
It's been 10 years since I graduated. Where do I even begin to research programs? That's a great question. I would say no. Narrow down what you want to do first. Like even down to 3, because there are each program is so unique, and even if it's the same type of program at different institutions, they're very different, right? So like our MBA program is going to be very different than CSU Monterey Bay's MBA program, because just the culture and the faculty are all different. So that's kind of what you want to do. You kind of want to narrow down what it is that you want first, right? You can't move forward until you make that decision in your mind, like, this is what I want to do, and then you can plan out the steps after that, I think.
And then, aside from that, where you go is Google. Google's your best friend nowadays. You can always start by just researching MBA programs in Northern California, and then read everything about it, watch YouTube videos on it, because there's always media content based off these programs. So that's always a start. Then next, you can just step foot on that campus just to see what it's like. And then that's probably like, first good 2 steps.
I would say that for me, it was something that I was really passionate about. I like English and teaching. It's something that I truly like. I felt like I always knew that I wanted to become a professor, but I felt like I wasn't really making a plan to achieve that goal until I applied for the graduate program, and then after those 2 years of learning and exploring and growing, I was able to, I feel really confident right now, this is something that I truly want to pursue, I am pursuing it. So I'd say something that you're really passionate about, follow that dream, because at the end of the day, you want to be doing things that you are truly motivated to do. And if you're not doing that, then, your life is going to be miserable,
Yeah.
So just follow what you really, want to do.
Because if you love what you do or what you're doing, then it'll carry you through when it gets tough, right?
Yeah.
When it gets tough, it gets easy. And that's not to say that sometimes people can make a pivot in what they are seeking, right? You could do your undergrad in one thing and completely do something else with your graduate program. I'd give myself an example. I was doing biology as an undergrad, and then I took a position in a lab where I worked under a hood for 8 hours a day, and I'm really more of a people person, and so it just didn't gel well with my personality, even though it was gainful employment and it was a really great job for just finishing college, but it wasn't for me, and it took me a while to figure that out, but eventually I found my way to the MBA program. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So let's see what other questions we have here. I think that's everything. So let's go ahead.
I think we have one more.
Oh, we do have one more. Okay. Let's see here. If you've been away from school, are you interested? Any questions? I think we're getting it now. I think we're actually just about out of time. So I'm sorry if we didn't get your question answered at this particular live feed. We are almost out of time. Thank you for joining us. If you have any additional questions about graduate school, feel free to email us at gradstudies@csueastbay.edu. And again, if you didn't have your questions answered, Cal State East Bay alumni will be hosting an online chat on Thursday, this coming Thursday, December 13th from 12:30 to 1:30 p.m. Graduate Studies will be there present to answer any questions that you didn't get answered tonight. And you can sign up for that event at Cal State East Bay Alumni's website, www.csueastbay.edu/alumni. Other than that, I think it is a wrap. So
Yeah, thank you.
thanks for joining us.